Today on Arise 360, we're joined by Oseni, the visionary creative director behind Odion, one of Nigeria's most influential fashion houses. With over 30 years in the industry, Odion has become known for her timeless, arts-driven designs, her pioneering use of vibrant African prints, and her reimagining of the women's agbada that helped reshape modern power dressing in Nigeria. She joins us today to talk about her heritage, craftsmanship, and creativity, as well as the evolution of African fashion. You are welcome to the show. It's so good to have you on.
Thank you very much. Thank
you so much for being here.
Shaitan.
Yes, first of all, I want to say congratulations. 30 years is not an easy feat. So congratulations and thank you for being on the show. But I just want to kick it off. When you look back at your journey, what would you say has been the defining philosophy that has kept your brand consistent over 3 decades?
I think the defining philosophy would be defining our heritage and making sure that we're constantly redefining who we are culturally. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, Africans are one of the strongest, and when it comes to history, one of the strongest civilizations, and we must always tell our stories. So I think that has been a defining factor for us.
Okay. All right then. So let's talk about ambience, which is being described as a sensory tribute to Lagos, as it were. What particular memories, sounds, or textures of Lagos inspired you while creating this collection? Because I was looking at the pictures when I was getting ready for this. I was like, I need me a piece of everything. It's so gorgeous. Everything feels familiar, but feels new. So talk to me about the memories, sounds, or textures that inspired this particular collection.
So for me, ambience is, as you said, it's a sensory feeler, and it's all about Lagos.
Yes.
And it's all about who we are. Lagos is my favorite city in the world, actually.
Me too.
I mean, we go everywhere in the world and we come back, and when you come home, you just know that you're home. So it's the noise of Lagos, it's the sound of Lagos, it's everything from our foods, it's what we take for granted so easily. I mean, like in some of our pieces, and like this one I'm wearing here, you have like a feature from your Naira note.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and your Naira note is us, huh?
Yes, it
it's
is.
What it's so nostalgic that sometimes now when they tell you Nigeria is getting cashless, you're afraid that these things are now becoming artworks that you're going to have to...
You have to see in the museum.
Yeah, you're going to see in the museum. You're going to have to keep and treasure, So these things, then we have drums. We have drums in some of our features as well. And then the vibrancy of our colors, because that's who we are.
Yes.
You even have in some of our collections where you have little tassels that look like tassels of rain in the splatter of our Lagos.
Like you said, Lagos is also my favorite city, and it's a city of movements. Yeah. It's a city of chaos. It's a city of beauty.
Correct.
How do you translate such an emotional landscape into fabric, into silhouette, into structure? Like, how do you do that?
So you use two words which I had used together last week, but you've put them separately. But I would say Lagos it's a beautiful chaos. It's kind of like a beautiful chaos.
It is.
And so you see that even in the juxtaposing of our colors, the way our colors work with us, and the way we fuse different colors together, because the aura you get from Lagos, you see everything together. You see reds, and you see your yellow buses. You see, today is yellow buses, tomorrow is red buses. You see those, sometimes you even see blue buses. But you then see your food, you see the person's frying akara somewhere on the side of the road. All those colors and infusions, you see them in our fabrics in different tones and in different ways. So that's our Lagos for us.
Thank you so much for interpreting that. But your brand has witnessed the evolution of Nigerian fashion firsthand. 30 years. What has been the most significant shift that you observed in the industry in the past 3 decades? From that position, that vantage point of 30 years in the industry, what's been the biggest dynamic shift that you've observed?
I think the last dynamic shift, which I'll use first, will be tech. The use of tech in the industry, the tech awareness in which now you have social media, which you just spoke about on on your last segment, the use of social media and great awareness. Fashion has been, it's helped fashion in this industry to create more awareness for our industry. So that's been good. And secondly, the shift of pride in us as Africans and Nigerians.
Yeah, there was a time where Nigerian was not a thing.
Now we're proud.
Yeah.
And I thank all of us because that neo-colonialism is leaving us. We are seeing that we are the prize.
Yes.
And you see that in everybody now.
Yeah.
And that has helped our fashion grow. And I mean, we're grateful.
Yeah.
We're grateful. I go abroad now and I can barely, I can barely see anything that matches what our Nigerian designers here put on the runway. I can barely see anything that matches it, you know. So
I'm 100%, I agree with you. And, for me, as a pioneer of Nigerian fashion, of African fashion, I want to again say thank you because it really took, at the time, 30 years ago, you seeing that, this is something that we have to do and you put in time and effort, and that's why we're here today. But as a pioneer in Nigerian fashion, what do you think still needs to change within the industry for more designers to thrive globally?
I think structure.
Yeah.
I think it definitely industrial structure. I mean, someone said something the other day to us, and it's something that, you see, we have a lot of the world has gone into now the tech era, and they've done industrialization. We still have to go back to industrialization and make sure that our industrialization in that sector is scaled up to that level that we can scale. Then tech follows. Yeah. But we kind of jumped it. But these are the little gaps that we have missing that we still have to fix.
We're focused on the creativity, and that brings me to the show that I like, Ambience, that you just happened I think last week or 2 weeks ago. The presentation itself had an immersive, multi-sensory feel. Why was it important for you to create an experience rather than the traditional runway show that we've come to expect?
I wanted you to have a piece of my mind. I wanted you to come in and be in my little space here, and I think that's the new world. Everything is virtual, but I wanted you to feel my Lagos, and that's why I wanted it to be sensory. We had scents of Lagos. We had scents that evoked even your Lagos traffic and all that. And we also had images all around that also evoked where you were, so that if you shut the door and you closed your mind, you were in the designer's mind.
Oh man, I'm so sad I missed it. It looks so good. I'm definitely going to be there for the next
by God's grace. Yes,
by God's grace. But one thing that stands out for me, even just looking at those images again, is the fact that craftsmanship has always been very central to your work. Every single piece that you make, you can just feel the time that has gone into making that piece. How do you sustain high quality artisanal production in a world, in a Nigeria that is increasingly driven by speed and mass output? How do you maintain that balance?
You shut the door. You shut the door.
Your answers are always so simple.
You just have to shut. Yeah, I know. So, but you have to shut the door. Yeah. So we pride ourselves being a slow fashion. We are a slow fashion brand, and so because we're a slow fashion brand, we have to do it the way we know how to do it. Luxury takes time. Effort takes time. You can't rush. So yes, sometimes I find myself trying to rush. Then I remind myself that, what are you doing? Because once you don't put in the amount of effort that's necessary on the garment, it shows through.
Yeah.
It's the work, it's the hours that you have to put in, how meticulous it has to be. And if you don't do a good job, it's going to show through no matter what. So creativity must be balanced out with craftsmanship, and apart from craftsmanship, some level of structure and industrialization that can help.
Yeah.
If not, walk in your little pockets that you are and just do the best that you can. And I think that's that's what keeps us afloat.
Yes, and another thing that you do is Mimone Threads, which is an initiative focused on mentorship and
Correct.
youth empowerment. Why was that a priority for you? A lot of people will just continue saying that, you know what, I'm just going to stick to fashion. But you've taken it a step further and saying, you know what, I want to empower the next generation. Why was that a priority for you?
We're 200 million Nigerians, period. Everybody, if you look back, you have to know that somebody else is continuing where you started. And you also have to know that you can empower the next person. Otherwise, it will combust on us. And so we started Mimone Threads. No, even though we had started Mimone Threads years before, we just started it, or we now started it more structurally, knowing that we have to give back to others. We have to give back to those around us, because otherwise you're walking around streets of Lagos and you want to feel safe. How do you feel safe? You can only feel safe by empowering the others that are around you, because it's economic power, right? And you have to make sure that everybody around you too can get to where you are. And that's why we started it.
I like that, hardworking and also giving back to community and giving us craftsmanship at a top level. I love that. Now, after 30 years, I wonder what still excites you the most about fashion, and what can we expect in the next chapter for Odion Mimone?
Well, I think what excites me is when I meet or find an unusual talent or an unusual mind. And I think there's so many unusual minds out there. And when I see also African designers picking up themselves by the bootstraps and just doing the best they can, that excites me as well. I think, what's the next chapter for us? Well, I know that Odion Mimone wants to be transgenerational. And I know that I want you to walk into any space outside Nigeria, internationally, and I want you to be able to see Odion Mimone on the billboards. I want you to be able to see a store that carries us. And so we need to be one of the strongest African brands, Black-owned brands, African-owned brands that reflect our taste, reflect our culture, reflect our people, reflect our love and our likes. We want to see ourselves on every other high street.
All right, then. I was going to wrap up with that, but there's a big fan of yours that's just messaged me, and she wants me to ask you directly. She said your designs are now stocked internationally and featured globally. How do you ensure that the brand remains rooted in African heritage while appealing to a broad audience, or an audience abroad?
So, number one, let's start with us as Nigerians. We're a nation of people in diaspora. Africans are a nation. We're a world of travelers. So first, I focus on people that think and look like me, because that answers that solution and that answers that problem. And we're everywhere. So and there's nobody that meets someone that doesn't want to be like a Nigerian. We're strong people. So that's one. And then two, we also know that we're a slightly modest brand, and we keep the ethos of that. So while we invite others to join us in different ways, we don't lean into them. We encourage them to lean into who we are.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I'm such a fan of your work.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad that we could have this conversation. Once again, congratulations on 30 years.
Thank you so much.
And here's to 30 more.
Yes!
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.